So next is the course objectives. Simply I will tell what are the course objectives. So you can formulate some simple algorithm for arithmetic and logical problems. You can create some of the important steps for solving the logical as well as some arithmetic problems. Also you can implement a C program. You can test it, and also you can execute it and check the correct syntax errors. Okay, whether your program has got correct syntax or correct logic. Okay, so you can do that, and you can decompose a problem into different functions also. Okay, these are the course objectives. Next, we will discuss about the history of C. Okay, F2 students may be having all these ideas. Okay, you are already studying in this semester. അപ്പോൾ നിങ്ങൾക്കിത് പുതിയതായിരിക്കില്ല, ബട്ട് ഞാൻ ഒന്ന് ബാക്കി എല്ലാവർക്കും കൂടി വേണ്ടിയിട്ടാണ് പറയുന്നത്. ഓക്കെ, അപ്പൊ നിങ്ങൾ ഒന്ന് ശ്രദ്ധിച്ചിരിക്കുക. നിങ്ങൾക്കിത് പുതിയതല്ല, പക്ഷെ ബാക്കി എല്ലാവരും കേൾക്കുന്നത് ചിലപ്പോൾ ആദ്യമായിട്ടായിരിക്കും. അതുകൊണ്ട് ആണ് ഫസ്റ്റ് ബേസിക് മുതൽ സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നത് കേട്ടോ. C programming is a general purpose high level language. Okay, it's a high level program, and it is a general purpose program. It is originally developed by Dennis and Ritchie. Dennis and Ritchie are developing it. And in 1978, Kernighan and Dennis Ritchie produced the first publicly available description of C. So, what is the question? Who invented C? Who invented C? The answer is Dennis and Ritchie. So, it's a high level language. C is a high-level programming language like Java. Okay. This is also a high-level programming language. Next, why we are going to C? Okay, so C is a widely used professional language. Okay, and the reason why we are moving to C is that C is very easy to learn, and also this is a structured language. This is a very structured language and produces efficient algorithms or efficient programs, and it can be compiled on a variety of computer platforms. So C can be ported on different platforms. If you are doing it for one processor, it can be ported to many other ported for execution to many other processors also. So that means C is portable. It's a portable language. It can be compiled on a variety of different computer platforms, and it is a structured language as well as easy to learn. That is why we prefer C in most of the embedded applications also. Okay, is it clear for you all? Am I audible? Just turn on your mic. Anyone?
Yes, miss.
Okay. Can I continue?
Yes, miss.
Okay. Next, C compiler. Okay, these are all theories, so I'm just running fast. Okay, C compiler means the program which you are writing on your computer. Okay, that is a human readable program, or that can be understood by you. The machine cannot understand the program. Is it? So you are writing a program just like an English language on the computer, and that can be understood only by you or only by the programmers. Programmers means who is writing the program. Okay, but it cannot be understood by the machine or by the processor. So what is the necessary conversion? There should be a necessary conversion step. That means the code which you are writing, it should be converted to machine language. Okay, the source code or the code which you are writing. The code means code is C code. C code which you are writing on your computer, it needs to be converted into the corresponding machine code. Machine code is understandable by the microprocessor or the microcontroller. Okay, so you need to convert the source code in high-level language into machine code. That is why that is what's the reason we need compilers. So for C compilers, for C we need C compilers. For C++ we need C++ compilers. For every programming language, in order to get converted into the corresponding machine code, we need compilers. Okay. So here there are many C compilers available. That means if you are just searching in Google, you can have online C compilers. Okay, so at your home you can practice C codes at your home itself. Just go to Google and search online C compiler. You will get the first link, online GDB compiler. Okay, the first link you will be getting online GDB compiler. Please make a note of that, online GDB compiler or GDB C compiler. Okay, just go to that particular link, online C GDB compiler. You can run your programs online. Okay, that is a very good platform. These are the online compilers. You can just run and execute your program and you can see the output at instantaneously. Okay, at that particular instant itself you can see, you can check for any input and you can run the code, you can get the output well. Okay, that is just online compilers are there. Other compilers are Turbo C compilers are there. Then GNU compilers are there. This can be installed on Windows as well as a Linux operating system. Okay, I am not going deep into that compiler section because once you get ready to the lab only you can get to know what are compilers and how you can run a program in compilers. So from today onwards we can start learning how to write a program and what are the fundamental steps in writing a program. All these things we will cover, and while you come to college, after you come to college we will go to compilers and we will build the program. Okay. So that is all about compilers. Next we are going to write our first simple hello world program. That means the first basic program any student can write. Okay, this is a simple first program in C. Okay, that you can write it as first step. I will explain what are the steps. Okay, first you can see the line #include stdio.h. So what's the meaning of #include stdio.h? This means that I am including some file. Okay, #include stdio.h means I am including some file. Okay, stdio stands for standard input output. You can see the first line. Okay, stdio stands for standard input output. So you can include the standard input output library or header file in your program. That is called a preprocessor command. This #include statement is a preprocessor command. That means some file you are including in your program. That file is called standard input output. That is a header file. Okay, so you are including your header file, standard input output header file in your program. And then next question will be, what is this? What is inside the standard IO or stdio? Okay, in stdio we have already written the functions that we need to include in our C program, or some inbuilt functions are there. Okay, in every programming language there are some inbuilt functions. Okay, and these inbuilt functions are written in the stdio. That means standard input output library or header file. Okay, so that file we need to include it in this. I will explain more on this. So #include stdio.h is a preprocessor command that we need to include in every C program. So what is the first one? #include stdio.h that we need to include in every C program. Okay. Next is you can see int main. Okay. Int main, that means it is a function. It is a main program function, or the execution of every program starts from the main function. The execution of every program starts from the main function. Main functionil ninnayirikkum ella programindeയും execution begin cheya. Okay, so from starting from int main, then you can see a curly bracket. That means you are opening the function. What is the function called? The function is main. Okay, the function name is called main, and you are starting your execution. In order to start the main function, you should open it. You should open it by using an open curly braces. Okay, so you are opening it by using an open curly braces. That you can see. Okay, next line. What is written in the next line? My first program in C. Okay, that is just a comment. It's just a comment, and comment is written as /*. Okay, in /* I have written my comment, and I have ended my comment in */. What do you mean by comment? Comments just help us to read the program. Okay, if I am writing the program and someone else needs to read that particular program, what happens? He should also understand that someone else also needs to understand my program, because this code is written by me. he may not be understanding this. So in order to make him also understand, I am writing some comments. Okay, so what do this comment indicate? These comments indicate the purpose of the program, or why I am writing this program. Okay, that he also should able to explain what are all these. Writing the comment as my first program in C. Okay, my first program in C എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് comment section ആണ്, and it will not be executed by the compiler. Okay, that my first program in C is written inside /star. Okay, that inside /star will not be executed by the compiler. So after that you can see printf function. Okay, printf function is an inbuilt function in order to print something on your screen. Okay, if you want to print something on your screen, you can use the printf function, and inside the printf function, you are opening a bracket. Okay, you are opening a bracket, and inside the double quotes, you are putting hello world. So what you need to print? You need to print hello world. Okay, hello world, then an exclamatory mark also. So what will be printed? The printed thing will be, okay, in the side box, or blue color box ninge കാണാം. Okay, in the side box, in blue color box, you can see the output there. What is the output? Hello world. Hello world, and then an exclamatory mark also. So whatever you are putting inside the double quotes, okay, please be clear about that. Whatever you are putting inside the double quotes, it will be printed on the screen. And what is the last statement? Return 0. Okay, so here return 0 indicates that the function is main function and the execution of the program begins from the main function. Okay, return 0 is returning from the main function. That means you are returning back from the main function. Once the main function completes executed, that is like an end statement. Okay, this just like an end statement, you are returning from the main, you are exiting from the main function, that is return 0. So this will be your output. So what is the first format of your program? First you need to include #include stdio.h. That means standard input output header file, you need to include it in your program. Then you write the main function into main. Okay, when you write the main function, then open the function by using a curly bracket. Okay, next portion, you can see commenting session. Okay, you can use comment or you can skip comment. The comments will not be executed by the compiler. That is up to your choice in order to use command or comments or not to use comments. Okay, it will not be executed by the compiler. Then the next statement is printf. Printf is an inbuilt C function. Okay, that is the printf function is included in the standard input output. Okay, this printf function is included in the standard input output or stdio.h. Okay, that is why we are including stdio.h. Okay, then last statement is return 0. So whatever you need to print, you need to put it inside the double quote. So this is the output. Okay, next is /n and /t. Okay. That is very important. Here, /n means which we need to go to a new line, and /t means you are putting a tab. Tab means space. Okay, if you want to put a tab, you need to write it as /t, and if you want to go to a new line, you put it as /n. Okay, and you can see this example. Main function is opening, then printf hello /t world. That means between hello and world you are putting a tab. I am putting /t. So that means between hello and world you are putting a tab, horizontal tab. And after hello world you are putting a /n. Okay, and inside the double quotes. So after that you are printing another statement. This is C programming. Okay, so what will be the output of this particular printf? So first printf will be printing hello, then after a tab means a space. Okay, hello after a tab, next is world, then in the next line, /n means you go to the next line. Okay, wherever it is, wherever we are writing /n, it goes to the next line. Okay, then you are printing printf, this is C programming. So in the next line only you can print this is C programming. So what is the output of this particular program? The output will be in the blue color box. Okay, you can see the output. Hello, then a tab is there, then world, then in the next line only you can see this is C programming. Clear ആണോ? ഒന്ന് മൈക്ക് ഓൺ ചെയ്ത് പറയാമോ? Is this clear?
Yes.
Hello?
Clear ആണ്.
Clear ആയോ? S6 കുട്ടികൾക്ക് ക്ലിയർ ആവുന്നുണ്ടോ? S6 S2 ഇത് ഫണ്ടമെന്റൽസ് ആണ്, പക്ഷെ S6 ഇത് ക്ലിയർ ആവുന്നുണ്ടോ? S6 ഒന്ന് പറയാമോ? S6 ആരെങ്കിലും? S6 ആൻഡ് S4 ആരെങ്കിലും?
Clear ആണ് മിസ്.
Okay, okay. Next is you can see here a semicolon. Okay, that means after the printf statement, printf hello world, you can see a semicolon at the end of printf. Printfന്റെ ഏറ്റവും അവസാനമായിട്ട് you can see a semicolon. Why we are putting a semicolon? Every statement in C programming ends with a semicolon. Whenever you are writing a statement in C programming, you should end the statement with a semicolon. Okay, that means you are telling the compiler that this is the end of a particular statement. You are telling the compiler that I am ending my particular statement. So after printf hello /t, then world /n, then you are closing the bracket, and after that you are putting a semicolon. That is the end of the particular statement. Then only you are writing the next statement. So whenever the compiler looks at semicolon, it will automatically understand that this is the first statement and the next will be the next statement. Okay, so after every statement you need to put a semicolon, but you should not put a semicolon in the main function. When you are starting the main function in the main, okay, there you should not put the semicolon. Okay, after return 0 also you need to put a semicolon. That is a statement, return 0. Okay, you are returning from the main function, so that is the end of that main function. So you should put a semicolon there also. So every statement should be a semicolon. So semicolon is the statement terminator. Okay, next all these things I have already told you. Okay, next we will see identifier in detail. Okay, before we will see identifier in detail, we can store different variables. Okay, we can store different variables. Say a value 10, value 10, I need to store it in a variable called A. The variable name, suppose it is A. Okay, I need to store a variable 10 in A. Sorry, a value 10 in A. So the value is 10 and the variable is A. Okay, and what type of variable is that? 10 is an integer. You all know that 10 is an integer. So that is an integer type variable. Okay, if I am, my name is Arya and my first letter is A. Okay, that is a character. A is a character. Or R, A-R-Y-A, R. R is the second letter of Arya. So I am storing R to a variable. So R is a character. So what type of variable is that? It's a character variable. So 10, I am storing it into another variable, and R I am storing it into another variable. So these two variables differ because one is integer variable and another one is character variable. Okay, and if I want to store 2.33 is a floating point value. It's a decimal value. 2.33 is a decimal value. It's a floating point value, and I am storing it in another variable B. Say B. So what type of variable is B? B is a floating point variable. So these are the different types of variables you can see in every language, especially in C. Okay, so first one, integer variable. For any type of integer variable, you have to use the type as int, int. You can see here in the table, int. Int is used as the type or data type for integer type variable. And character, for characters like Arya, the second letter is R. That is a character. Okay, and that R should be saved. Okay, that is a character variable. I should write as char, char, char. Okay, next if it is a 3.22, that is a floating point value, floating point variable. I should write it as float. F-L-O-A-T, float. Okay, if the floating point value is of double precision, okay, double precision means you can store with, suppose 2.33. My precision, if it is double, means 2.343. I can use three things: int, char, and float. Okay, int is for integer, float is for floating point value, character for character, char. These are the different types. Okay, and another thing is that ആരെങ്കിലും മൈക്ക് ഓൺ ആക്കിയിട്ടുണ്ടോ? ഒന്ന് ഓഫ് ചെയ്യാവോ? മൈക്ക് ആരെങ്കിലും ഓൺ ആണെന്ന് തോന്നുന്നു. ഓക്കെ, നെക്സ്റ്റ് ഇസ് സ്റ്റോറേജ് സൈസ്. സ്റ്റോറേജ് സൈസ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ every variable that the compiler is working on, it needs to be stored in memory. So whenever we are creating a variable, the variable is to be stored in memory. Okay, so all these different types of variables take different storage. Variable can be of 2 byte or 4 byte long. Okay, it can take a space from memory 2 byte, either 2 byte or 4 byte space. And if it is a character variable, it may take only 1 byte. If it is a floating point variable, it may take only 4 byte. If it is a double precision variable, it may take 8 byte. So different storage size for different type of variable. So every variable that you are creating in C language, it needs to be stored in memory. So that memory space, every variable taking is different. Depends on the size, depends on the type of variable. Integer, it may be 2 or 4 byte. It depends upon it may be 2 byte or it may be 4 byte. It depends upon the system you are using. Or depends upon the processor that you are using, what amount of storage the processor will be allocating for your integer variable. I think this is clear. The clear ആണോ? Clear ആണോ? മൈക്ക് ഓൺ ചെയ്ത് പറയാമോ? Clear ആണോ?
Yes, miss.
Clear ആണോ? Okay. Next is the void type. Void type means integer, float, double ഒക്കെ നമ്മൾ കണ്ടു. Next is void type. Void means it's return. Suppose the function is returning nothing. Okay, it is, the type is void. If the function is returning nothing it is returning, the type is void. ഈ void എന്നുള്ള ടൈപ്പ് നമുക്ക് യൂസ് വരും. അപ്പൊ ഞാൻ കൂടുതൽ ഡീറ്റെയിൽ ആയിട്ട് പറയാം. ഇപ്പൊ നിങ്ങൾ ഇത്ര അറിഞ്ഞിരുന്നാൽ മതി. ഫംഗ്ഷൻ ഒന്നും തന്നെ റിട്ടേൺ ചെയ്യുന്നില്ല എന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അതിന്റെ ഡേറ്റ ടൈപ്പ് void ആയിരിക്കും. Okay, അത്രയും നിങ്ങളിപ്പോ അറിഞ്ഞിരിക്കുക. A function with no return value, it will be having as void. Okay. Next, C variables. Okay, next we will go into detail with C variables. C is a case-sensitive language. Okay, case-sensitive means uppercase letters are there, lowercase letters are there. Both are different. Okay, inside the bracket you can see area is different from area. Small letter area is different from capital letter area. The compiler interprets area, small letter area as one variable, and the compiler interprets capital letter area as another variable. So both small letter area and capital letter area, they are different variables according to the C compiler. So C is a case sensitive language. Both are different. Okay. Next, every variable should be starting with a letter or an underscore. Okay, that means the variable should not be started with a digit. Or digit വെച്ച് ഒരിക്കലും ഒരു variable start ചെയ്യരുത്. The variable can be started with letters. A to Z letters are there, or small letter A to small letter Z. Or you can start with even an underscore symbol. Okay, so variable can only be started with a letter, or you can start with an underscore symbol. You cannot start it with a space, or you cannot start it with a digit, or you cannot start it with a special character. All these things. You need to start it with a letter or an underscore. Okay, and the variable can contain letters and digits. That is possible. Okay, so variable should start with a letter or an underscore. Okay, and it